coaches, this module is one that really excites me. It's about back moves, and to me it's a great part of the game. It's an area that you can be innovative in. It's exciting to be involved in designing moves. And I think you'll find that your players get a lot out of it as well. Players love to think up new moves. They love to give feedback on the moves. So we're going to look at a system here that includes the players. We're going to design a move setup that has got a pretty basic move within it, but 2 or 3 or 4 options off that move. And we're going to look at how to choose the best option at any given time. A lot of coaches talk about playing heads-up rugby in attack. What does that mean though? It's all very well telling players to play with their heads up, but if they don't know what they're looking for and what sort of feedback to give, then they're not going to be successful. So we're going to try and build an understanding of what they should be looking for, what they're basing their attack on, because I was taught as a young player that you always base your attack on the defence. So we'll get them understanding that, look at how they can give really good feedback to the playmaker or the director of the backline, and see if we can create some successful move setups. Okay, let's run through a couple and see how they go. Okay, from the same place. And again. So what I'd like to ask, firstly, the defenders here, was there anything in that attack that stressed you? Was anyone stressed in the defence?
Yeah, when TD got the missed pass, he nearly got around me. And if he gave the inside ball, Alex would have been gone.
That is great feedback, coaches. When you're training a move or a set of moves against each other, it's really good to get that feedback from the defensive team. What stresses them, and what about the move would really stress them, and then that gives the attacking team a bit of a cue as to what they should play next against them. Not only that, if you're able to put your attacking team in the defence, let them defend, and feel what stresses them, then when they come back into the attack, they've got a feeling for what they need to do. So that's the first tip for the day. Second thing I'd ask the players, I'd ask the attacking team, who felt that they were unmarked in those plays?
I thought on the inside ball from blindside winger, I could have been free out wider here.
That's great feedback, and that's exactly what you want to know, because if you can give that information to your playmaker, your general, who's Andrew here, the number 10, that's the best information you can get. So any break in play, if one of the players comes up and says, I'm not marked in this move, then you know which move to go to next. And what I would do is I'd keep playing that move until you are marked, and then once you're marked, someone else is going to be free, and they'll be able to give that feedback. Okay, so we're going to use that feedback that's been given at the moment and go and redo that move. It's one move setup, so we're doing 10 and 12 are just doing a cut, so they can either cut or they can dummy cut. 13 and 15 are doing a drifter type move, so they're swapping places, which hopefully will take the eyes of the defenders and make them think a bit. If you can make the defence think, then it's going to make them sluggish. So movements around the ball are going to do that. And then we've got a blindside winger who's acting as a trailing runner, and he can get the ball on the inside of 13, who's drifted wide, or he might be able to get it off 15. If 15 goes through, you might be able to get it on 15's outside. So it's a one move setup, pretty simple, and we're just going to look at making that as effective as we can with this feedback. That play was really effective. It came from great feedback from the defence, saying that that move would have stressed them. So now what I've asked the attacking team to do is to replay that move and see if the defensive team has marked up. If they've marked it and it doesn't work, then we'll get a cue for what we do next. So can you play that exactly again, boys? And we'll have a watch. So we made a play based on the feedback. The inside ball to the wing worked. We made the play again, and this time the defence had sussed that that's what they were going to do, and they covered it. So the obvious question now is to ask the attack, on the move that got covered, well, what did you feel you weren't marked?
Because the first 5 pushed too fast, which left a gap for the 7 to make the ground up.
You were the first 5 in the defence. What stressed you and made you leave poor old Brad by himself as the flanker?
It was first 5 went right across, so I had to follow him real hard and lift a big gap.
Again, there's some really good feedback. So, Andrew, what have you taken out of that feedback for the next time you play that move?
The cut is free for him to take a gap on.
What's creating that hole for you? What can you do to make sure that that move works, given the feedback you had?
Keep pushing hard across the field so that it drags the 10 with me.
Beautiful. He's a holding player. He's what I call a holding player. They're holding and hiding players in any move. Okay, and holding players are decoy runners or playmakers who are doing something to hold defenders. The other holding players, what are you going to do to hold defence?
Run my normal line.
Run your normal line, which is going to do what to the defence?
Make them think that I'm getting the ball.
Make them think, for a start, is key. Make them sluggish. Fatigue them, make them mark up on you. Who else is a holding player?
Fullback as well.
Fullback as well, so what's your role, Andrew?
Because me and TD cut in, I'll have to check the defenders, make them think that I'm getting the ball.
So you've got to run aggressively and look as though you're going to give them the ball. Who's the hiding player here? 12. So what's your role going to be?
To run the line I do, just to call for the ball, which will drag the 10.
Beautiful. That's exactly what you're going to do. So you're going to look as though you're getting the ball outside 10, so you're going to run with 10 for a while, just look like you're going to get the ball, call for it, and then you're going to tip in on a cut. What feedback did Brad give about the line you should take on your cut?
I should get the ball and then bounce back out.
Outstanding. So I've done any coaching here, coaches. I've just asked some questions. So I'm trying to create self-awareness from these young men and some collective awareness of how to make a move work and how to give feedback so that the next move works as well. Okay, so let's go and have a look at that play and see what happens. If you're going to bounce out, what does that look like? Yeah, so you've got to get out quicker. Yeah. So what I'd ask, are you deep enough on your 10 to be able to do that? You might need to take one step back, I reckon, and then just run with him. So what you're doing, Andrew's coming across. Andrew's coming across, you're coming with him, you're coming with him, you're coming with him, coming with him. And just as he's about to get tackled, that's where you want to tip, bang, and then back out again. That line there. Beautiful. Right, coaches, what we found there is that the move actually works slightly different to what we thought it was going to. So I'd like to ask Brad, who was playing 7, would you get beaten on the outside or the inside there normally by that move?
Probably more on the inside because I'm pushing hard on the 10, so I'll be weak when he comes back on the cut.
Okay, and Andrew, our 10, what would that do to your play in that move?
Force me to stand a little closer so that I do drag Brad onto me so that I can give room for the 12 to take him on the inside.
Outstanding. And so 12, who are you going to beat?
Go in the inside of the 7 and then to bounce out from the 8 coming across to beat him.
And I think that last play showed those elements really well. Really that the 10 should be looking to be tackled by the 7. For 7 to be sucked in, he's really got to have that carrot of thinking, yeah, I can get him, I can get him, I can get him. And just as he gets him, the pass is made and the 12's through on his inside. Bounces out to beat the 8. I think that's a really good process for making your play, learning from your play, getting feedback from the defenders, but also feedback from who's unmarked, and then planning your next play. When that doesn't work, go through the process again and use the same move setup, but choose the option that's going to work. Right, we're going to look now at the miss pass from 10 missing 15 who's coming in on a short ball to 13 who's going wide, drifting wide with blindside wing on his inside. And then we'll come back and we'll just talk about the elements of that, what's going to make that work. If you're a holding player, I think you're best to start in here. Okay, and it's just a little thing, but maybe if you look in here as you're running, that'll hold them a bit more, and you can still get from there, and you'll hide really well. So you're holding first, and then you're hiding. Okay, we need good width. Yeah, good width here. That's good. What's your role going to be? What are you going to do as you come in? Yeah, and where's the ball going to pass you by?
Should go
No, it's going to go in front of you. So I want it facing you. Okay, so, and when you've got wide, I just want you to arc and straighten up. Okay? You see, it changes the picture totally for me as a defender. Changes it for Brad. Now he's got to worry about the inside. Let's go again. Is Andrew looking like he's getting the ball? Do you think? Did you look like you're getting the ball? Did you put your hands up? No, just running. Let's try it again. Come on, boys. Get the focus up. One more. They're sliding off you, Andrew, so I think you need to come up a wee bit. Come up flatter. They're all sliding off. Okay, mark up on these guys. That's an example of how we've used the exactly the same move setup as we had before, but we've changed the play based on the feedback. And just as we broke down the elements of the cut to make that successful, I want to do the same with the miss pass. So within the setup, you've got to do all the actions right. So on that move there, boys, who were the holding players? So who had a role in holding the defence?
Well, I had the role to sort of slow down the 7-ish, and then when I bounced out, I went into the other hole as a hiding player.
So as blindside wing, what did you do to hold the 7?
I started inside first 5 and ran a fake line, and then bounced out to get in position for the move.
Great. Okay, if we can hold the 7 there, might hold the 10 in and create the space out wide. Who else was a holding player there?
I was slowing down the 7 and the 10 on the cut to draw them in so there's space on the outside.
What did you do differently to when you were the actual penetrator, the hiding player? How did your role change?
I was kind of calling for the ball, making them think about it.
Beautiful, so you made it a bit more obvious, didn't you? Who else was a holding player?
Holding the inside defenders by sacking them in on the close and showing the ball to a few different people before throwing.